Hello there, beauties. So today I'm answering a question which I feel is essentially around how do we work with jealousy? How do we stay in our center as women? And this question is from Lisa. I'm going to read out her question. How to stay in our feminine radiance and stay strong in the face of being with a man? What do we do when he looks at another woman? How do we bring our energy back? Or if he mentions another woman as attractive, not to hurt us, but just in passing, these types of things, how do we not go into fear as women? So, thank you for bringing up this experience of yours, because I'm sure a lot of women really relate. There's actually like, oh, look at that little putty in the background. There's just so many ways that we can come out of our center and go into a negative mental loop that makes us feel not good enough. It's just so easy for us to go down those tracks. And for sure, if your man is noticing another woman, it can easily make you feel like, oh wow, she's amazing and maybe I'm not amazing enough, and lose connection with ourselves. And so I can relate to feeling insecure. I'm sure nearly all women can relate to feeling really insecure sometimes. And yeah, getting thrown out of our center in response to our partner or someone, or just something going on around us that makes us question our own worth. Yeah, so I feel that's essentially what you're asking. How do we not go into those places and not let it affect us really negatively? And you actually kind of answered your question somewhere in that question when you said, how do we bring our energy back so to ourselves? And that's basically all we can do, you know. Basically, like when we're connected to ourselves and we're in the fullness of our own energy, that's how we stay in our radiance and our strength, by being in it. And when things happen and we hear something or we see something and it takes us, you know, into this loop of emotions, you know, first to notice, oh wow, okay, this thing has triggered me. It's just good to like acknowledge, I've been triggered by this. And then take, you know, a few moments to check in, like, oh, how's it making me feel? Oh, when I heard that, it made me feel like, you know, she's really hot and maybe I'm not hot. And that makes me feel insecure in myself, and that makes me feel insecure in my relationship, like he might go off with somebody else. And just acknowledge how it's making you feel. Acknowledge the story, you know, rather than just getting kind of triggered by it and then staying in this triggered state. Acknowledge that this has happened. Okay, I've gotten triggered. It's made me feel insecure about myself. Maybe like an insecurity that I was feeling, it kind of touched on that, and then it's spiraled, and I feel terrible. Just like, oh, and then just having compassion for yourself. Oh, I feel really triggered by this. I feel really insecure. When he said that, it really didn't feel good, you know, and I really do feel it's really important for us to do this as inner work. Maybe later you can say, hey, you know, like, you know, I get really triggered when you mention other women, and, you know, if it feels important to mention to your partner. But it's important to own your own trigger and work with it, because it's showing you something. So what's it showing you? It's like, oh, okay, it's making me feel insecure. And just be loving with yourself, like, it's okay. It's okay to feel insecure. It's completely natural to feel insecure sometimes. And I know I'm an amazing woman, and come back to a connection with your womb and your heart, just like, oh, I'm totally enough. It's okay. I'm not in danger. It's all right. I don't have to go down this track. And it's like, it's important for it to not just be a mental thing, to like really feel it, you know, like really feel it really feel the energy in yourself and really connect, like you said, how do I bring the energy back? You actually come back and you feel it, like feel the energy in your heart, feel the energy in your womb, and connect back there. So away from the blah 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 blah, address that, and then come back to your breathing, come back to your sense of connection with your body, to your connection with the nature around you, connection to your own heart, and the part of you that really trusts that you're loved, you're enough, it's okay. Yeah. And obviously, it's easier to come back and anchor into that if you've actually cultivated that energetic state, which is why I teach womb practices. It's because it's so easy for us to get stuck in mind loops and just stay in this place of like, I'm not good enough. Ugh. And when we do the womb practices, we plug into our own power and we feed that resonance, we anchor into that resonance. And so it's much easier to come back into that state of connection when we're cultivating it every day. And this is why we do feminine practices every day, because it means that we can shortcut the trigger rather than staying there, maybe acting out lots of whack behavior. You kind of cut that and just more in a quicker way, triggers still, the triggery, but it's quicker to come back, and we can anchor back in to the energy in our own bodies and like, oh, there I am, here I am in connection with myself. I know I'm enough. I know I'm safe. I know I'm all right. It doesn't really matter that he thinks this other woman is hot. It doesn't really matter. And it's being able to come back to this deep knowing in ourselves that we have because we've created it. Yeah, so that's why we do womb practices. That's why we do feminine practices, because it cultivates this ability to stay connected to ourselves rather than coming out of ourselves and going into fear, going into jealousy, going into judgment, going into what if, going into I'm not good enough. So I hope that answers your question. And, for those of you who are watching this and they're like, oh, I want to do those womb practices, then I really recommend doing my Womb Week program. It's super affordable. It's a week program, and it'll give you an intro into doing these practices and give you a daily practice that you can do, which will keep you connected to your womb and your deep feminine knowing inside of yourself. Thank you, Lisa, for asking this question. And if you're a woman out there who's like got your own issue and you would like to ask me a question, then just you can shoot. You can write it as a comment if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can send me an email. Okay, I'm sending you so much love. Mwah.